Hello and welcome to Gone Your Soul.
We are Rites and Rituals Scotland. My name is Victoria.
I'm Lindsay.
And we're all things spiritual and
ceremony and ritual and
celebranty.
Yeah. And we are going to go on and talk about ceremony and ritual in a minute. But before we do that, we just wanted to address something quite quickly if we can, because something came up in the media yesterday. There was a report in the Sunday Post about celebrants and how there are celebrants out there who are conducting ceremonies, but the way it was worded made it sound as if there's celebrants out there conducting legal marriage ceremonies, but they're not authorised to conduct those legal marriage ceremonies. Now, I think it was unintentionally misleading just a wee bit, because I don't think that's what they were actually trying to say. I think they were trying to say that sometimes celebrants don't get the wording right in ceremonies. But I know it's left some couples feeling a bit worried about whether their celebrant who married them actually did it legally and whether they're legally married. Of course, that would be something that you would worry about. But here's the thing. If you were married by a celebrant and you submitted an M10 form to the registrar and you picked up your marriage schedule from the registrar and you took it to your ceremony and it was signed by you and the celebrant and your two witnesses, and then it was submitted back to the registrar and you got your wedding certificate, then what that means is that celebrant had authorisation to legally conduct your marriage. There is absolutely no question about that, because if they didn't have that authorisation, they would never have been allowed to be on the M10 form. It's as simple as that. So if you've had a wedding and you've gone through all that process, then your celebrant did have authorisation from the Registrar General. What they're in that article was trying to say was celebrants are not always getting the wording right in marriage ceremonies, and that could create a wee bit of a problem if somebody get divorced and decided to say, we weren't legally married because the celebrant used the wrong wording. So I think that's what they were trying to get at. But there was also some question over some groups and their beliefs, and so we're not here to talk about any other groups and what they're doing. We only want to talk from a rites and rituals perspective. But I wanted to kind of set up to help people to understand how you can be married in Scotland. So there are only two ways in which you can be legally married in Scotland, and that's either by a registrar or by somebody who is a member of and acting on behalf of a religious or belief group. So I'll say that again. A registrar, and that's pretty self-explanatory. You go along to the registry office, or the registrar comes to your venue, a known religious ceremony, pretty straightforward. It's the other one that tends to cause the confusion, because the other one is that you're married by somebody who is a member of and acting on behalf of a religious or belief group. So the religious group, quite easy to understand. So that's if you go to your church or your priest and they conduct your marriage. The belief group is where it tends to get a wee bit more tricky. Yeah, a wee bit more muddled. So there are numerous groups in Scotland that come under that umbrella of belief group. And we are one. Rites and Rituals Scotland are a belief group. And so Rites and Rituals Scotland have authorisation from the Registrar General of Scotland to conduct legal marriages in Scotland. So it's the organisation, it's the group that has the authorisation. Then we're the leadership of Rites and Rituals, we can nominate people to go and solemnise marriages, conduct the legal aspects of marriages on behalf of Rites and Rituals.
Not on behalf of themselves, on
Not
behalf
of themselves. It's nothing to do with the individual. It's on behalf of Rites and Rituals Scotland. So we have a training programme at Rites and Rituals. Our celebrants have to take part in a 6-month training programme, regardless if they've trained as a celebrant before. And that is a combination of spiritual work and practical work.
The initial application process is very in-depth as well.
It's very in-depth because we are a group of spiritual celebrants, and this is where the belief comes into it.
A community.
Each and every person in Rites and Rituals believes in something beyond this world. Now, it might be different things for different people. For some people, they believe in a God, a Christian God. So they would describe themselves. Gordon would describe himself as a practicing Christian. He believes in God, so a God who has form. When we think of a Christian God, we think of man with white hair, white beard. We think of Jesus, but we form an image of this person in our heads. For me and for you, it's force versus form. So we don't believe in a person,
one deity.
We believe that there is a force that surrounds this universe, that surrounds it, that works through us, and we call that different things. So I call it God energy, I call it the sacred,
I call it universe, source or spirit.
I call it source or spirit. But it's this idea that there is something beyond our everyday existence, holding us, working for us, and that we can be in communion with. Hence, we sit in spiritual practice and we pray and we give offerings and we ask questions because we are communicating, or we're trying to communicate with that is what is beyond us. So everybody in Rites and Rituals, it is the absolute embedded within the foundations. If you want to be a ceremonialist with Rites and Rituals, you have to also believe in something more. But it's not just a case of saying that, because I think the article alluded to people saying anything just to be able to get to conduct legal weddings. And that's something we've worked really hard at.
And the training process then?
The application and the training is to try and make sure we are bringing in the right people. We're always trying to get it right. We're bringing in the right people who align with our values and our beliefs.
It's not, as we call it, a golden ticket. And I think that's where it comes when people think, oh, I'm a celebrant, or I'd like to become a celebrant. How do I do legal marriages?
We get that every week.
And it's a fair question because people don't necessarily understand the process, but we don't just sit there and go, oh yeah, okay, we'll come on to our training program and then you can do legal weddings. Even if you do the 6-month program,
it's not a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee.
Because the training for the legal side of solemnising marriages is done separately. The focus of our work is the spiritual side of it. And exploring that spirituality and what it means to explore your spirituality and building a community who come together. We meet every month online, where we like this.
And you don't have to just be a celebrant to join.
No, anybody can come. Our
Rites and Rituals is a community, not just. Obviously, we have our celebrants who we train, and that the ceremonialists. That's a kind of separate entity. But as a faith organisation, it's a community open to everyone who even if they're not sure, dip your toe in and see if they resonate. Anything that we do resonates with you.
Well, we get different people coming every month to our online
gatherings.
So this Thursday, we are talking about past life and past life regression. And so we talk about all sorts of different things in the spiritual world. It's not about being a celebrant. It's not about how to get bookings. We don't do any of that nonsense. It's all, no, that's nonsense, but we focus on the spiritual aspects of our work. Obviously, when we're doing the training, there has to be practical aspects, how to structure a ceremony, how to work with couples, to think about the different elements that come into a ceremony and how you juggle them all. So there are those practical elements built in, but it's primarily about the spiritual aspect. So Rites and Rituals as a group, we have that authorisation from the Registrar General, and we nominate our ceremonialists who have come through the training, who have expressed an interest in solemnising marriages, and who we feel are ready and have demonstrated that they are ready to go out and act on our behalf. Because Rites and Rituals was a long time in the making, 5 years or something in the making. It was brewing, it was a wee seed,
lots of different things
growing, and so we've tried to get it right. We continue to try.
And once our ceremonialists are ready to go out and we feel that they're ready to, go out and conduct legal ceremony, that's not it over. It's continuous support, continuous working together, continuous training, so that we're all singing from the same hymn sheet kind of thing.
Standardising things so that we get it right, making sure that it's built into contracts between a ceremonialist and a couple, who Rites and Rituals are, what they believe, and the couple are signing up to say that they align with that. We have CPD this Sunday, so we'll spend the whole day together in our community learning. So putting together an altar. We are going to be talking about things like redesigning altar tables in ceremonies.
Ceremony spaces.
We are going to be talking about mindfulness and meditation and spiritual practice. So we meet at least 4 times a year for those sessions. We meet online every month. We're doing everything we can.
We do this.
Not just, maybe we have our podcast, not just to tick boxes, but to help us grow as a community. That's the most important thing. We're not doing it just to satisfy the Registrar General. We're doing it because it's right for Rites and Rituals. But for anybody who
has a doubt,
Rites and Rituals, well, pick up the phone and phone me, and I'll talk you through it. But you are in as safe as hands as you could be with Rites and Rituals ceremonialists, and we are always working hard to try and get it right.